Here we go. Hey, Jim.
Hi, Kit. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Uh, we're we're co-hosting today.
Yes, we are.
We are possibly um, this is going to be a podcast and a YouTube video and maybe other things as well. But most importantly, we are friends
Yeah.
and colleagues. And two 50-year-olds. You're almost 50, I know.
I got a couple weeks.
I'm your senior. But yeah, we're just happy to just kind of spend a little time chatting.
Yes, we are. We've been kind of talking a bit more in the past, I don't know, 6 months, a year, something like that. And the last time we talked, I think the concept of happiness came up,
Hmm.
and it was sort of your suggestion that we have a chat about it, and I agree because I think it's a really cool concept, and as we will get into, I think one that is kind of misunderstood and maybe even like miss sought after, if that's the right word. Right? What's the goal? That's kind of what I'd like to explore today a little bit is,
Yeah.
this goal of happiness, if that's even appropriate.
Well, am I right that it's written in the Americans' Constitution? There's like
Mm,
a pursuit of happiness, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I did not grow up in this country, and I have lived here much longer than I lived in my homeland of Thailand. But I still sometimes feel like an outsider. Not
Mm,
sometimes, oftentimes I still feel like an outsider. And so when there are things like a cultural thing or very like the Americanness of like daily life, I sometimes still it kind of catches me off guard.
mm,
And because I feel like I don't understand it innately. And so something like that, something like happiness, which is such a big term, right? It's this everybody understands, I think, what
yeah.
happy is, and everybody wants to be happy. But what does it really mean? So when we were talking about something else last time and that topic came up, I was like, okay, let's put a an underline on that and come
Yeah.
back to it because we as practitioners, we see people who want to be happy, right? And they're for some reason they're not quite happy enough. That's why they come to see
Mm,
us. So sometimes they have physical pain.
yeah. It
Sometimes
could be
they
pain.
are
Yeah.
in some sort of emotional pain or both, right? And so the conclusion is whatever is bugging them is causing them to not be happy. And please, can you
Right.
help us be happy? And so I feel like that's part of our job is to help people be
Right.
happier, right? So I think it'd be interesting and fun to kind of dissect what that is.
I like that. Yeah. Because I think that just the knee-jerk reaction to that question that they'd be posing to us as practitioners is no, I can't help you be happier. That's a personal choice. That's something you have to work towards yourself. I
Mm,
can help remove the barriers, right? But how many people are kind of stuck in a certain loop, you
hmm.
know? It's like you take away their migraine headaches and they're still just as unhappy,
Yep.
right? Or
Or
whatever
they
it is.
make $1 million and they're still unhappy.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so that's an interesting beginning of our conversation, right? And that is how much of happiness do we look outside? Do we look
Mm,
externally from ourselves? Like, do we expect other things or we expect things,
mm.
people, experiences to make us happy.
I think this is fascinating actually because I would say that your American experience would suggest that yes, it's more external, but maybe your Thai background, Buddhist, yes,
Yep.
would say something different. I think it's at a very fundamental level.
Yep. I think the
Yeah.
think the religious piece is huge, right?
Yeah.
And we can't really separate that from culture because I think a lot of cultural norms, who's to say how much of that is from is it Christianity? Is it Buddhism? Is
Yeah.
it a lot of other things that sort of has a big impact on the society?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that as Americans, it has a lot to do with external stuff
Yep.
for sure. I know a big part of my, ego struggle throughout my adult life, being 50 now, is that I am really good at what I do professionally. Probably haven't been the best business person my whole life, and not charging what I'm worth um, for a lot of that, and never been able to buy a home in California here.
Mm.
Actually, we had a condo. My wife and I had a condo, a little starter condo that popped in the bubble back in like, what was it, 2007 or 8 or whatever that was.
Hmm.
So had to short sell. And then we have two self-employed people now raising kids and just never got the opportunity. So like that has become a source of, well, become an obstacle to my happiness over the years. It's an external thing.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, I've had a house in the good part of town. My kids went to good schools. We had everything we needed,
Yep.
right? We
Yep.
were never hungry. We both drive nice cars,
Yeah.
and but still, there's that external validation concept that says, well, if I just had a house, I'd be happy.
Okay. That's interesting, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because whose standard are you following, right? Well, like,
yeah. The neighborhoods and like my sibling and like my cousins who are all very well to do, and you
mm-hmm.
go to people's homes and you're like, damn, this is a nice house,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um,
And you're expected to own a home
yeah,
to
absolutely.
yeah, to meet the standard of living
Yeah.
or standard of yeah. Yeah,
My
but
wife and I have talked about that. Like, if we just lived in a less affluent neighborhood,
Mhm.
would we have a higher self-image? Would we feel better about ourselves?
It's not
I don't
interesting.
know. Maybe it's just like who you next to, right? Kind of makes sense in a tribal sense.
Yeah, or go to New York City, right?
Yeah.
Where people who do what you do, what you and I do, who
Mm.
maybe even make more than we do, they they will never own an
Yeah.
apartment
Right.
or a house
Right.
for crying out loud
Right.
because it's not even part of their plan to own in
Right.
New York City because it's just sort of not
Yeah.
it's already an impossible goal, so they don't have that as a goal.
Yeah.
But I'll bet you that a lot of them are happy.
Yeah. I agree because they haven't set that expectation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
according to one guy, his name
Hmm.
is Arthur Brooks. He's an author. He's a professor at, I want to say Harvard Business School. He's written many books. One of them is called Strength, From Strength to Strength.
Okay.
And it is targeted for um, people in our age group and older
Hmm.
because it talks about, sort of midlife and beyond and how to maximize the second half of our life.
Hmm.
And in it is this explanation, according to him, of what happiness consists of. But before I go into that, and we
Hmm.
will, I want to ask you, Jim, when was the last time that you could say you were happy?
Happy.
Yeah, just,
Well, we're gonna unpack it, but I would say just as of this moment,
oh,
I'm happy. I'm happy because I view happiness as an integrative state,
hmm,
right? And by
hmm,
that I mean, what are all the inputs? And the inputs have all been positive in a lot of ways, encouraging,
hmm,
um, with little bits of dis-ease mixed in, right?
hmm,
But when you look at the average of them all, I would have to say that I'm happy. Now, if you ask me the last time I was ecstatic or in bliss,
hmm.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that. But um, probably a few months back in an ayahuasca journey,
Yeah.
I experienced true bliss. you
Okay.
know. Yeah, but that's sort of an extraordinary state.
And not quite at the same level as happy.
No, no. The
Hmm.
bliss of the love of the universe. That's hard to put a finger on, right?
Oh my gosh. That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, that is. I don't talk about it too much, but you got me in this one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that was extraordinary, but
Hmm.
it's interesting to be able to dip your toe into that pool and feel what that actual that bliss state feels like from a non-ego perspective, right? It's not like I'm fucking awesome. I got this Ferrari. Look how sweet my job is, and I got this to show for it,
Yep.
which can feel pretty great, right? And I'm not even discounting it. I'm not even poo-pooing it. It's just that's ego based.
Yeah.
That's me, right? The bliss I've experienced that stood out from your question was the bliss of the external, bliss of the universe, Sat Chitananda, right? I mean, it's basically like that which is consciousness, that which is bliss. Now that's more of a Hindu concept,
Hmm.
right? It's
It's a
that's God.
state.
That's
Yeah.
God in a way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
State of being.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
How amazing is it just to be conscious in this plane? That's bliss. That's blissful.
hmm.
So I've been able to experience that kind of thing and then come back down and put my feet on the ground, of course, and just remember that as a sensation, as something that's entered into my body, and it resonates with the soul. So when you're mindful enough about it in your waking day, in your normal day, which luckily is most of the time,
Yep.
um, there's that shadow there. There's that shadow image, and so you find little bits of bliss throughout your life.
Sure. Did
Like
it lie?
I experienced it just the other day actually, where I had a nice workout and I followed up with a sauna, and in the sauna I like to use that as my chance to meditate a little bit,
Hmm.
which is difficult because I'm suffering, right, in
Hmm.
180 190 degrees, but to really root and I like to meditate on love and compassion, and I like to kind of expand this circle of positivity outward as far as I can. But I decided to cool off and walk around the pool area. So I kept my meditation going, and I was just meditating on the abundance of love that I have in my life. And it was pouring out of my heart chakra. So I'm sounding like a hippie now, but that's what was happening. And that was my meditation. I was pouring this love energy out of my heart chakra, and I was filling the whole entire area that the pool was in, and all the people in it were being bathed in my love. And all I did was just walk with a smile on my face. No one knew what I was doing, right?
Yep.
But I felt bliss in that moment,
Mm.
similar to what I felt in a psychedelic state,
Hmm.
you know. And that was me making a mindful decision to access that bliss because it's there for us anytime we want. Just beyond the veil, right? Just beyond the veil. How do you pick things from behind the veil
Yeah.
at will?
How did
Knowing that I don't want
you,
to stay there, I got to drive home. You know, I got to go shopping.
so you're saying you can't maintain the bliss state and do mundane life things?
I don't know if you can't. I know people that do, and they're not normal people, and they don't function real well. Because I think the reality is we have to live in this 3D environment.
Hmm.
So no, I don't think it's appropriate
Hmm.
to be living in bliss constantly. I
Okay.
think it's appropriate to own and to understand that we have it at our fingertips anytime we need it.
Yeah.
And it does not have to do with a Ferrari
It's
or
not.
a house in San Diego. Absolutely not.
Or drugs,
Or drugs or sex,
right?
which is a drug. Yeah.
Yes. Do you think, though, that at that moment around the pool, heart
Yeah.
chakra opening,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that your brain, if we were to image it,
Mm.
would it look similar to somebody who is on drugs or having sex or
Ooh, I
something?
don't know. I wonder. I wonder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I mean, it'd be a very big limbic response, I suppose.
Hmm.
I'm sure dopamine centers would be firing,
Hmm.
but I don't know.
Yeah,
It'd be a really interesting study. I'm sure it's been done with monks.
I'm sure. But, you know, can always do something again. All right.
True.
So you are happy right now as
Yeah,
we're talking and we're doing this. And I gotta say, me too. I was gonna
great.
do like a thing of, let me remember when I was last happy. So absolutely this
Yeah.
moment. And what's happening right now, which I will categorize as part of why this feels happy, is I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm not
Hmm.
thinking about what happened earlier today. I mean, I can,
You're not
but
preoccupied
I'm
with
not
other
pre
things.
I'm present
Hmm.
and I wouldn't want to do anything else. So,
So
um
you're in the moment.
in the moment, I have no other sensorial feelings or
Hmm.
other thoughts that are distracting me. So, yeah,
Hmm.
so I'm present. I am enjoying this, and we'll go through the macronutrients of happiness and
Hmm.
see if we meet all of them in this moment. But I was trying to think about another time recently that I felt happy. Um, and the biggest one is probably the long ass walk that I did with my
Yeah, that's what I was thinking for you. Yeah,
right. I know everybody knows about the marathon
yeah,
walk. It's
it's awesome.
ridiculous. But it was uh of the whole experience was great. The end when
Yeah,
we hit 26.2, we actually weren't quite done with the walk,
yeah,
but we looked at the app and it said 26.2, and there was this sense of accomplishment. There was a sense of uh pride and
yeah,
completion and exhaustion. There's a lot of different feelings, but I think I can say that that was happiness
yeah.
in like a holistic sense. So that,
And even though your your feet hurt, I'm sure,
yeah,
even though you were probably experiencing physical pain,
physical
and then
pain.
the next day too.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
But the joy that
yeah,
I was also feeling sort of took minimize the pain, right?
yeah.
Like
And the
it
endorphins.
and the endorphins, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Anything like that for you? Like I know you brought up bliss, but any other moments of what I just shared?
Yes, but not in the same light. This one
Mm,
took me by surprise because it's a major accomplishment that I just experienced, and I'm surprisingly feeling a little flat about it. Um, so I've been training in functional medicine my whole career, and I've been following along with a particular teacher, Dr. Datis Karazian. And several years back, he created his own institute and started a certification program, kind of like Institute for Functional Medicine. And there's a few others out there you can get certified, right? And I never wanted to do that because I was a Karazian disciple, you know? And I don't know how many years it took. Let's just say over 20 that I've been studying with him. I finally reached the highest level of certification you can have in the functional medicine arena.
amazing.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I was
Congratulations.
like looking forward to it forever. And now that I did it, I did my last class and I have my little certificate, I was like, so what?
Mhm.
Interestingly, but what it's told me to do is it sort of put to rest this whole phase of my life in a way that I'm never going to stop learning. But I mean, like the focus has been on building this part of myself so that I can be proud and I can succeed and I can do all the things that make me happy.
Mm,
Right.
mm,
But what that certification did was like, good job. Now study what's important. And that's the spiritual side. That's the magic side. That's the connection with others side. So it's actually, I feel my practice going to change in the next few years to be
mhm.
much more spirit based and people oriented. So it's interesting. So that makes me happy, but not for the same reasons. Not finishing a marathon. It's like my marathon told me that I had to do something else. I don't know.
Well, I think this is a good reminder, right? That
Yeah.
however um, explosive or impactful, or no, that's not the right word, intense the feelings are,
Mhm.
it's always fleeting,
Yeah, that's right.
you know?
That's right.
Like, can I recreate that same feeling I had at 26.2? I don't think I can,
No. And should
right?
you?
It was in that moment. And
Yeah.
maybe you're the same way. Maybe when, whatever, you finished the last, what was it? It was an exam or something that,
Just the end of the classes that he offered. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yay. And then,
Yeah.
and it's gone. So,
I felt more joy from the earlier classes when I was like,
hmm,
oh my God, this is amazing. I'm learning
hmm,
so much. I like know way more than a lot of people, like that. Like
yeah,
that was, and that wasn't even so egotistical. It was just like gratitude. Like, oh my God, where would I be without knowing this?
yeah,
Um, but I did that so many times that the reward kind of wore off at
yeah,
the end. So that's another concept. You're chasing something, right? Chasing happiness.
yeah.
Um, this might be a good time, actually. I wrote a little, I don't know if it's a poem. You could tell me later if you think it's a poem. Um, I think I posted it in the early days of my podcast. I did a little happiness thing. But it was just something that I wrote. This is not about me. It was really more of a meditation about like human nature. And and it addresses all this. Is it cool if I read it?
Totally. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. I just called it happiness. It was like this. Oh, I love me some ice cream and that extra large scoop of sugar on my 10 p.m. snack of cinnamon toast. God, do I love picking up women at that local bar every Saturday night. That line of cocaine, that special tequila I purchased on my boys' trip to Cabo. That feeling I get when I believe that I'm correct while others are not. That constant acquiring of happiness. The more I get, the happier I become. It is a matter of logging abundance. I have it all. I am on the right path. I'm happy. Am I happy? Well, just look at all those things I have to make me happy. Nobody can tell me that I'm not. I am happy, right? At least as long as I have those women and that ice cream, of course. But sit me in a room alone with nothing but my breath and ask me the same question. Perhaps I feel lonely. Perhaps I feel hungry. Perhaps I feel too sober and have nowhere to hide. Perhaps I have no choice but to look back and see all those women that I've hurt. All of those empty calories which have accumulated around my waist and internal organs, all of those liver cells who given their lives for my never-ending search for happiness. So am I happy? Well, those people at the bar would certainly say that I am. I certainly convinced those women that I am, though the quiet reflection of breath and solitude haunts me. This haunting drives me from a place deep in my core. I find myself on a mountaintop, blown frigid by an alpine wind. I find myself learning Mandarin simply because it's difficult. I find myself running marathons. I find myself acting in service to my community at my local soup kitchen. I listen to the stories of the less fortunate who I have routinely walked past without noticing. I realize that it has been a year since I polished that bar stool with my backside. I realize that the hunt for that one more woman no longer haunts me. I realize that the sugar is not so sweet or rewarding, the pleasure only a wisp in the wind. I realize that happiness is not often found in those things that are easy or temporary. Happiness is born out of struggle, out of suffering. They are opposites of the same coin, yin and yang. They mutually define each other. I understand now that there is a difference between happiness and that feeling of contented inner calm. I now know my purpose and I'm on the right path. I have arrived home to that place I have never been before. I am truly happy.
We can just end right there.
That's not.
That's awesome, Jim.
Thank you.
When did you write that?
I don't know, a couple of years ago,
Just out of
ayahuasca.
nice. Nice.
Because when you're in that mindset, and it's not for everybody, but when you're in that mindset, get to experience what spirit looks like without the burden of the ego,
Mm-hmm.
with just it takes down that conditioning, and it really tears you down, and that's why it's not for everybody because not everybody can really tolerate that when you get to take a close look at yourself.
Yeah.
Because maybe you are snorting the cocaine and you're eating too much sugar and you're hurting women, like maybe that's your life and you see that, and hopefully you change if that's you. Luckily, that's never really been me, but
Mm-hmm.
I got to empathize and I got to experience what that would be like from other people's
Mm-hmm.
perspectives.
Yep.
So yeah, so it's whether it's something aggressive like that or it's just something you choose to do on your own,
Yeah.
um, it's
Well,
a
what
valuable thing to explore. What's making you happy, and is it real?
is it
Yeah,
real? Is it really happiness or is it
yeah,
pleasure,
pleasure, right?
right?
Exactly.
Or is it false, yeah, false alarms. Anyway,
Yeah.
but I this is a great um intro to the macronutrients of happiness that I started talking about. So again, according to this one author, Arthur Brooks, he divides true happiness into, well, I'm sorry, he um uh he creates this structure of the macronutrients and the micronutrients that
Okay.
create shall we call it authentic happiness, right?
So
Which
all those things that need to be mixed together or included in a recipe, so to speak, to attain a level of happiness,
yeah, yeah.
concept of happiness. Okay.
A happiness that is more is not as fleeting as a chocolate bar might be.
Yeah. Me.
Okay, so
Right.
macronutrients first. There are three of them. One is enjoyment,
Okay.
two is satisfaction. I have
Hmm.
a list, and three is meaning or purpose.
Would connection fall into that? Do you think the third category maybe?
Connection is the third category. Yeah, purpose.
Okay. Purpose. All right.
So
Thanks.
so and in between those three things, under each one,
Okay.
there's micronutrients that create these one of these three things, or each of these three things. So
Okay.
the enjoyment piece, and maybe we'll use our both of our example that we're happy right now, right?
Yeah.
And see if it fits into these categories. So
Okay.
enjoyment includes pleasure, people, and
Hmm.
memory. Okay. So what do you
Okay.
think, Jim? What do you think our little chat here? Does that include all the enjoyment things?
In my life, yeah, I feel like I have them. I certainly have a lot of meaningful connections.
Hmm.
Right? We're doing one right now, which is lovely. Um,
So, but I'm trying to think of, remember when we were saying like we're happy right now? Like you
yeah,
and me talking right here, we are calling this happiness, right?
sure.
Do we have all those ingredients of enjoyment? The pleasure, the people, the memory. I do
I do.
because it's the pleasure piece is just spending time with a friend.
Yeah. So we're focusing in on this experience.
This experience, yes.
Correct. Not
We're,
not the
we're, we're
background of what brought me to this experience.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
as an example, right? Like,
Okay. I like it.
is this authentic happiness? And
Hmm.
it might not be.
Yeah, we could be putting on a mask.
We could be. All right. So pleasure, people, memory,
All right.
makes all those things make enjoyment. Is this an
Yeah,
enjoyable experience? Yes, right? Because
absolutely.
I will remember this. If anything, we will have it recorded and it will be
Yeah.
somewhere forever. So that's
Not to mention, you're my friend for 20 plus years ago.
I know. So
That's pretty cool.
that's pretty right. That's
Yeah.
just the people and the pleasure. So this is
Yeah.
definitely enjoyable. It fits the first macronutrient.
Yep.
Second macronutrient is satisfaction, right? So that would include effort and reward and some sort of a goal, like a
Mm.
meaningful goal that we set, which, yes, I would say this is satisfying because we planned this a long time ago.
Yeah.
So we're like actually doing it, right?
Mhm.
Does it take effort and sacrifice? Yes, because it's our time. Like
I'm
we
here on my day
actually,
off.
I exactly. And I could have
Yeah.
scheduled people for this
Yeah.
time and I didn't, right? So
Right.
we made an extra effort to do this.
Yeah.
And the last micronutrient of the satisfaction is reward and recognition, some sort of
Yeah.
achievement after this experience,
Hmm.
which, yes, we will have material for
Yes.
your podcast and for my YouTube. So,
And also giving is receiving for me.
yep, right.
So yeah, just offering this dialogue to anybody who's interested to listen is rewarding for me.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, satisfaction, I think a big check, right,
Agreed.
from this experience. Okay, so we have enjoyment, we have
Hmm.
satisfaction. And the last one is meaning or purpose, which includes things like faith, um, family or love,
Hmm.
connection, service. Transcendence is another micronutrient of meaning, which
Mm.
is moments that lift us out of the ordinary. So, of course, this is purposeful, right? Because
Right.
we're sharing this with other people. It's purposeful just by default that this is an intentional time we set apart to have
Yes.
this conversation. So, purpose, check. So, I think we
Yes.
checked all the
Great.
macronutrients for happiness.
And you don't necessarily have to have all of the micronutrients checked, I wouldn't
No,
think.
no, no.
Like in this instance, the concept of faith may or may not be as
Correct.
relevant.
Right, right. So, so yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this is a happy incident for both of
Yeah.
us.
Right.
Now, let's project this to something pretty common, right? That maybe your patients and my patients um, may get to experience, but they might not think of it as happiness.
Hmm.
Do you have an example? Like, let's say
No.
somebody who's
See.
like, my life sucks. I
Yeah. Which
can't,
which they do say
that
that.
they do
Yeah.
say that. And they might forget that they do have moments of happiness
Uh-huh.
that they may be overlooking, or maybe they have to create happiness that might not look like, you know, um, drinking margaritas on a Thursday night alone.
Right. 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 Yeah. I don't know. I feel like one of the struggles I have working with people sometimes, and I suppose I've been guilty of it too at times in my life, but there's an attachment to the unhappiness.
Mm,
So they're not really going to be in an open state to like think about how to switch that. I mean, a depressed person, for example, is a very classic example of that, where
sure.
their world has become so focused down and they're very, their worldview is very small.
Right.
That's very tough to break out of sometimes, even though they were taken to Disneyland. I talked to a person recently who lost her husband over a year ago. Tragically,
Mm,
cancer, that kind of thing. She's going through it, right?
hmm
Um, was doing all these things, these wonderful things with friends, and going on. She went on a cruise to Alaska, which is, I think everybody can agree that Alaska is stunningly beautiful. You know, and her report to me was, yeah, it wasn't that good. Like it was, I didn't think it was all that pretty. I mean, there was like a little glacier. They told me there was a glacier out there, but it just looked like a little piece of white something. Like
hmm
yeah,
hmm
it's just like wow, like that's what you took from Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah. So her integrative state, no matter even though there was like these things that are positive, are like they're being outweighed. Um, I don't know
Well,
if I have a question.
I I don't minimize people who are truly going
Mhm.
through like depression, right? Because their brain is
No.
not functioning properly.
Right. Right.
People who are going through, deep grief, same thing, right? They're not able to, you know, find any of these macro ingredients, right? Like,
Right.
what we're talking like pleasure, what pleasure, right? Like,
Yeah.
um,
Right.
not I don't have purpose. I don't have, nothing means anything right now. So,
Yeah.
and that's yeah, that you and I can help them energetically, but they definitely need extra help with counseling and medications and,
Sure.
support and a lot of other things. But
Right. And just, yeah, and some kind of encouragement to just start taking certain steps that
yep.
can lead to some of the things I said in my little writing piece. Like,
Hmm.
next thing you know, you are doing something like learning a language or,
Hmm.
or climbing on top of a mountain, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No,
And then that starts to recenter people, I
yes.
think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the thing that I was a little surprised by
Hmm.
that makes all the sense in the world is the the effort piece that
Mm.
that I think is an important ingredient in happiness. And you don't need to climb a mountain or
Right.
walk or run a marathon, but something that requires you to do something a little different or a little like this, right? Like
Yeah.
making time to
Yeah.
do something out of your ordinary day. Or I think you and I were talking about this before we started recording, like making a cake for someone
Yeah.
for, birthday, anniversary, or just for just because, right?
Yeah.
That can create a lot of happiness because you are intentionally baking
Yeah.
for a friend, let's say, and that's not for yourself, but you are,
Yeah.
um, the intention is for somebody else. You have to put efforts into the baking part. You
Mm.
feel you're sharing it with someone, so that includes all the things, right? The memory, the
Right.
people, the effort, the purpose, the community. So yeah, so if it could be as simple as bake a cake or a cookie
Yeah.
for,
I have a
your neighbors.
practice. I have a practice that's very similar to that. I like to like carve things out of wood, usually like usable things like spatulas or spoons or just, something that's beautiful and usable.
Wait,
And
hold on.
yeah,
Pause. I
yeah.
kind of remember you doing this at Five Branches.
I
Were
used to
you?
make pipes for all the stoner friends.
There
Yeah.
you go. Because now that you say that, I have a memory of you like doing this
Yeah.
during
Yep.
class or something,
Oh,
or
maybe
maybe when we were having lunch.
outside. Yeah, maybe outside. Um, well, I've kept it up. I've just switched it more to culinary things, but
Nice. Okay,
um,
go on.
or like little things that people can put in their palms and just sort of, little worry stones or just little things that they
Oh,
can mess
yes.
with and
I
touch,
love
and I
those.
like to bless them. So here's my process. So I will only use salvaged wood. So it was a neighbor that chopped down a tree or something and they're going to throw away the wood, or I've been like hiking before or on a run and I saw somebody just dumped a bunch of like juniper logs on the side of the road. I'll like haul that fucker out, like I'll make it part of my workout, first of all, right? So it's like
Nice.
I'm expending a ton of energy dragging like 100-pound log home.
Yep.
Um, or I could just walk across the street, grab a branch, one of the two. And then I make the piece, and I do that listening to like really great music, you know,
Hmm.
and I usually record what I was listening to and let the person know that's getting this
Hmm.
gift what music was being played while it was being made, just to give them an idea of the energy and the feeling that I'm going through. And just that they know that I'm thinking about them the whole time I'm making it, you
Hmm.
know? And then I end up with this really rewarding, beautiful object
Yep.
that I would love to use, but I give it to somebody and then they get to receive it and be thankful. And
Yep.
then every time I talk to them, they're like, dude, I love that spoon. you know, it's like
Yeah.
I know that every time they use it, I'm coming into their heart a little bit. So for me, it's this practice in love and gratitude and connection.
Yep.
And every step is rewarding because I'm using salvaged wood.
Yeah.
I'm getting a physical exercise out of it. I'm
Yeah.
doing a movement meditation. I'm exercising creativity.
Yeah.
I'm embodying love and I'm listening to amazing music and I
Hmm.
gift and
Hmm.
and I connect.
Yeah.
So that whole process might take me a week, to get the thing
Hmm.
done, but that makes me happy.
I can
Even though
see.
my hands hurt.
But that's the satisfaction part, right?
Yeah.
Like it, if it was that easy, well, maybe you would still feel the whole satisfaction thing. But if it was something like super easy that you didn't really,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like a little flick of the finger, it might not be
Yeah.
as satisfying.
Right.
Um, so that's a great, well, whoever gets your things are super lucky.
Yeah. Maybe you'll get one.
So I was actually thinking about whoever receives your gift,
Yeah.
right? So you are experiencing happiness, like you're giving.
Hmm.
I'm just wondering, like, are they, they're happy to be receiving, but, of course, my brain's going to like, that's not happiness, that they're happy to be receiving, but that feeling is probably more of gratitude.
Yeah. What are they receiving? Are we going to get distracted by the physical object
Mm,
or is it something else?
hmm.
I think it's something else. The object is impregnated with the energy that they're receiving.
Yeah. You're,
Then
s-
that's eternal.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're so Californian right now.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, probably.
I love it. Um, so yeah, it's kind of fun to think about all the different experiences that,
Yeah.
that like what do we, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, right? Like you feel whatever you feel, but
That's right. How much time do we have? Can I posit one more concept?
of course.
I think this is relevant to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And overlaid on the concept that we're both 50, right?
Yeah.
How many people throughout a lifetime in a marriage lose their happiness, right? That's a big one.
Hmm.
Opening a can
Hmm.
of worms, I know. But like, is it appropriate to remain the same level of happy, quote unquote, as you were in the beginning? Or like what does that look like without being apathetic or falling out of love or something like that,
Hmm.
Um, because I know that's what a lot of people suffer from. I mean, I hear it certainly.
Yeah.
I'm married to my high school sweetheart, and we've certainly gone through our ups and downs over the years, but I'm very happy to say that we're very much stoked on each other and love, and everything is great in that
Hmm.
respect. Um, I don't know how we did it officially,
Hmm. Yeah.
but I
Well,
think that's a big area where people lose their happiness.
well, enjoyment,
Yes,
satisfaction,
yes.
purpose,
Mm.
right? So I'm
I
sure.
think the aging people lose their purpose. We're still a little young for that, but maybe our kids are gone, and
Hmm.
that was a loss of purpose. Um, but certainly in like the older years, like 70, you're like retired now. What's your purpose? That can be
Yeah,
tough.
because when you are still raising kids, you share a purpose.
Yeah, right.
And if you're both engaged in your own lives and activities, you both have separate purposes, but if you're content and happy in your own doings,
Yeah,
then maybe that's easier for the marriage to stay strong because you're both satisfied. See, now I'm
yeah,
using all the words interchangeably. But as far as the marriage goes, as an entity, yeah, are you nurturing the
yeah.
the components of happiness, right?
All those same tenets apply, I suppose, to the entity that is a relationship versus the
Hmm.
entity that is the human person. Um,
Now, what about this?
yeah,
You ready for this?
mm, bring it.
What if it's the relationship with ourselves?
Yeah, and that where it all starts. I agree with that.
Mhm. Like,
I agree with that.
do we? do we have all these things, right? About the relationship with ourselves? Do we give
Yeah,
ourselves the priority, the time? Do we, you know, have, I don't know, goals and purpose and yeah.
yeah. Um, Way back in the day, my wife used to watch RuPaul's Drag Race.
Hmm,
RuPaul,
I do.
famous. Yeah, okay. There's a quote that I believe RuPaul the man, not the drag queen persona in that sense, but he says, and I love it. If you don't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else?
Yep.
It's just so great, I just love that. Uh,
It's simple, but so
but
hard.
not easy. Yeah, not
Not
easy
easy.
yeah, because I haven't accomplished this, and this, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah,
So I think that's, that's the ultimate work is, yeah, how can we translate that to our
yeah.
own internal world, which,
Hmm.
yeah, if we are happy more times than not with ourselves and our being and our the relationship we have with ourselves, then it's easier, right,
Yeah,
to do that with other people and things. But
agreed.
back to the very beginning, and then we can wrap it up.
Okay.
Back to the thinking that we need something external to make us happy.
Hmm.
Um, then the working on ourselves makes it difficult.
Say that one more time.
Well, if we rely on things outside of us, whether
Yes.
it be, material or
Mhm.
people or circumstances, right? Like I have to have a certain car to
Right.
be happy with me. I have to make a certain amount of money to be happy with me. You name it, like the social cultural norms of what's um good and successful and all of that, right?
Yeah,
So I guess my question is, can we uh cultivate happiness within ourselves without needing anything external?
I believe we can.
Okay, how do we do it, Dr. Jim?
It's just hard depending on your environment. Like I was
Hmm.
talking about earlier,
Hmm.
you put yourself in an environment that, you're comparing yourself to the surroundings, it might be harder. But it might be good to be in that environment to help elevate you. So you just have to navigate. But how I don't know how. It's a personal decision that you have to start working towards. It's just a matter of for me, it's a matter of the notion. I kind of sound like a hippie today. It's a notion of namaste for me,
Yes.
right? Namaste, right?
The light in me.
That's right.
Yep.
I
Hmm.
recognize the light in you.
Right.
It's it's
Right.
it's that we are connected, and that equalizes us.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're Charlie Manson. I
Yeah.
still namaste, man. Like I recognize that soul.
Right.
Um, I'm not gonna judge at certain levels.
Yeah.
It just everybody has this connection, and we're all one and the same, and that helps me.
Hmm. I like that.
That just allows me to kind of navigate things and take the risks and make the mistakes and know that I'm just a spirit visiting humanity. You know,
Bring on the hippie.
yeah, it's flowing today.
All right. So
My whole path in life, as I've be turning 50 here soon, I'm recognizing it. I'm preparing myself to have a wonderful death.
mm,
You know, hopefully I get to experience that and I don't just get it like, taken by accident real fast. But um, most of my mindful work that I do is preparing me for a good death. That's happiness for me, knowing that I can die peacefully and pass on to whatever else is there. I don't know.
yeah.
Right.
No, I do think about death more frequently.
Yeah.
My own and people I love.
Yeah.
Um, my goal, I guess, is similar, not as morbid, but it is to be content with just me.
Hmm.
you know? And maybe this is like I'm doing the yin and yang from Dr. Jim to almost Dr. Kit over here is what if we just create micro happiness within ourselves on a daily basis
Mm, yeah.
throughout the day? And it could just look like, I'm looking at all these the macro ingredients, right? It could look like creating little tiny goals, right?
Hmm.
Like you tell yourself, I'm going to go for a 20-minute walk today.
Yeah.
And you might do it with friends, which that includes
Mm,
the community piece, connection piece, or you could do it alone and you're connecting with yourself.
that's right.
And the trick is to actually do it.
Agreed.
And when that happens, like when you set a goal, you actually do it and you do it with intention.
Hmm.
Um, I think that makes the definition of happiness,
I
right?
agree. I agree.
Because the intention will create the memory, the
Hmm.
connection with yourself, and you'll be satisfied when you actually do something that you said you were going to do.
That's right.
So I'm going to
And
call
if
it,
you can layer on that moment with like the openness to experience some connection with something else while there. Like for
yeah.
example, there's this little hike I can go on near my house, and I know that at least lately there's been a little group of baby coyotes that you can
Mhm.
see off in the distance, and they kind of play in this little open area. So it's like that's another way for me to kind of just also layer in that connection with nature.
100%.
And I know the two red tails that live near my house, and they've been there for as long as I've lived there. They're my friends.
Oh, yeah.
So
There you
yeah,
go. Yeah.
so yeah, you can kind of like pull in these mindful concepts. Or I pet my dog. How many times do I pet my dog and just not even think about it? Or can I just spend a moment and just decide like this is the moment that I'm going to love on this little dog?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's just a little switch, and then
Totally.
like I say, if you just know how to pull behind the veil, it's right there constantly.
Always there.
Yeah,
All right. Well, this
this was fun.
was totally fun.
Yeah.
And I want you to teach us how to be in the state of bliss next time we talk.
State of bliss. All right. Legally.
Legally,
Yeah.
without any medications.
Yeah, of course.
All right,
Meditate.
Jim.
All
Well,
right.
thanks for your time.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, we'll do this again.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.